Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show, and welcome back to episode 6, I think it is, of my Planet of the Apes walkthrough, playthrough, how to play the game, not why we play the game. Now, we left off with a cool little sort of choose-your-own-adventure situation here. Let me find my handy-dandy bookmarks here. And I played through it, and you play as a gorilla constable chasing down 3 other gorillas who had stolen some horses, burned some buildings, and they're kind of, considered evil because I'm charged with, or the gorilla that you're playing is charged with, bringing him in more or less, hopefully alive, but deadly force is kind of authorized because they're bad guys, and it's suspected or hinted at that they're willing to kill you, or maybe have killed somebody before. And it's a quick playthrough. After about 6 options, you're either lying on the ground, maybe even dead, or you've intimidated them enough to make them give up, and then you'll drag them back to Ape City and Irons. It's a cute little playthrough, using the stats that's given for on a character sheet in the book, and you make a couple of die rolls here or there. If you succeed, go to this page. If you fail, go to the other page. And the first time I got shot, and I'm laying there, and the end. And then the second time I managed to sneak around and knock one out and then bust through the door. And since they didn't have a rifle and I did, they gave up, and I dragged them home. The end. Everybody lives happily ever after. It's a nice little, it took all of like 3 pages to do it. Now, as I told you last week, we're going to go into combat. And first is the combat sequence. The lawgiver sets the scene, and everybody knows who they are, where they are in relationship to one another. Then you set the order by rolling initiative. Combatants who are expecting a fight may make a dex or reflex skill roll. Combatants who aren't expecting the fight or otherwise unaware use their persuasion skill. And you roll for the side, not the individual characters, which, in my opinion, speeds things up because I'm not a big fan of initiative to begin with. Every situation kind of, unless it's, you both meet at the exact same moment, who goes first, it really should be on whoever has the highest relevant dexterity, agility scores, in my opinion. But it is a game, and people love rolling initiative, so it's been a thing since day one. And whoever gets the higher number gets to go first. Then the lawgiver decides what the NPCs will do. Each player decides what they want their characters to do, and the side with the highest initiative declares and completes its actions, including movement, attacking, and so on, in any order they wish. So Joe can go, then Fred, then Wilma and Barney can go, and then the NPCs or the opposing players, if that was the case, would do the same until everybody's done their thing. And then you, end of the round, resolve any ongoing effects, environmental elements, bookkeeping, and preparing for the next round if needed, and then wash and repeat. Now, actions are described as a quick action. A quick action takes a split second. Quick action includes remembering a fact, speaking a few words, dropping a handheld object, etc. Your basic actions, the basic action is 1 round, 5 seconds, including things like firing a gun, throwing a punch, etc. Slow actions include anything that will take longer than the 5 seconds, anywhere from a minute to days or what have you, which why that's there, I'm not really sure. Multiple actions, if you're taking more than one action, you'll receive a -1 die on each of those actions. So if you want to do 2 actions, they both will subtract the die from each of those actions. If you want to do 3 actions, I believe all 3 will take a negative die on them as well. Combined actions, each additional character that lends a hand into, like, say 2 people want to tackle a guy, 1 guy is going to be rolling, but he'll get to add 1 other die because of his buddy assisting. Surprise actions, to get to jump on their enemies, an ambusher can take 1 basic action, or 2 if one of those is a basic action and 1 is a movement. And right here, why roll initiative each round? Tension, you never know what will happen next. Fairness, if you lost the initiative last round, you might win it this time. And pulp action combat has the ebb and flow of a blockbuster movie or action-packed graphic novel. It's funny how they put graphic novel, because they're, I guess they're leaning into the, not the Marvel comics, but maybe Dynamite or some other company that may have put out some Planet of the Apes graphic novels. I'm really unaware of that. If there are, I'll probably be looking into them, but I digress. Declaring actions. Catching an enemy by surprise comes with a special benefit for the attackers. A surprise action lets the ambushers take 1 basic action or 2 basic actions if one of them is a movement. So if you surprise your opponent, then you get to do 2 things. Or yeah. Making an attack. Your attack result equals your attack total versus their DN. Compare your attack total with the number to hit. The higher number wins, whereas your attack total equals rolling and adding up the appropriate attribute plus skill and the die number, the range to the target plus their SRP, which I bookmarked over here because it's your different types of defenses that may pertain to the particular attack. You've got surprised. When you don't know an attack is coming, surprise is based on your persuasion. If you're readied and you see the attack coming, readied is your dex-based defense. And whenever someone tries to bully or scare you, as well as when you're confronted with a terrifying or supernatural, then it's a will-based defense. Surprise defense equals your persuade times 3, ready defense dex times 3, and psyche defense will times 3, which will be added to the target difficulty number for your opponent to hit. And hand-to-hand attacks, where I'm going to stop it, and we'll do range attacks next week, because range attacks actually has a whole lot to go over. Hand-to-hand attacks require the attacker to be within reach of their target less than 3 meters and attack with bare hands using their strength and brawl skill, or a melee weapon using their dex and melee skill. The difficulty number is set by the target's SRP defense, as I just described, and then you go on to damage, and that will depend on what you're using, if you're using a melee weapon or your fists, and we'll go into that because there's a whole chapter on equipment, weapons, armor, vehicles, gadgets, and I didn't want to muddy that up, but it's pretty straightforward. Basically you're just going to roll a pool of dice to see if you can beat the target number to hit them, and vice versa, and depending on whether you're using a melee weapon or your fists or your feet or your teeth, will determine exactly which of your stats you get to roll that pool of dice from. So far it's pretty straightforward, very much like all the other West End D6 games as far as I know. We haven't done a lot of combat with George's game, but I do hope you guys will check that out this Saturday, because George is going to run us through another session of Heart of the Dark Side, which we're all, very, very anxious to get back to. We've been enjoying it, and the little hiatus that we had was starting to wear on us. We're like, I want to hurry up and play this, because we know that at a certain point George is going to go, okay, the end of this movie or this little mini campaign, and then it'll be all on Omen to run us through the Alien RPG, which uses, I believe, a completely different game system, and so we'll have to go and learn that before, or well, definitely before I run Planet of the Apes, but that'll give me plenty more time to learn how to freaking run this game, because as you can see, it's pretty thick just for the basic game. I believe it's 310 pages, but I'm loving it. I believe it's now on sale through Magnetic Press. If you're interested, you can get the game box set, slipcase, this and the ANSA files and other things, or you can just grab the PDF and take it out for a spin, see if you like it. But that's what I got for you now. I will see you guys not tomorrow, because tomorrow will be Saturday morning and I'll probably be out Christmas shopping, but I will see you guys Saturday night, and then you'll have to wait till Monday next week at some point where I will come back with Planet of the Apes. But until then, folks, have a great weekend. We love you guys, and as always, happy trails.